How to get rid of headaches without taking painkillers. Hi, welcome back to Big City Mom channel. If you are new here, my name is Sylvia and I'm a big city mom. I live in New York City, I work here and I raise my family here. And whenever I get some free time, I blog and vlog about health through diet and nutrition. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with autoimmunity, rheumatoid arthritis, and I spent years trying to figure out how to fix it without going through hard drugs and therapies that only manage symptoms and don't really heal me. Well, I got it done a few months ago, and I was so inspired that it finally pushed me to start this YouTube channel. If you are on this journey yourself, you should definitely subscribe, and let's create the community of people that can reverse chronic disease through diet, nutrition, and lifestyle. All right, let's get started with today's video. If you watched my previous videos, you'll know that I was able to reverse rheumatoid arthritis by following a very strict paleo-ketogenic diet. A part of that paleo-ketogenic diet is to remove all supplementation and painkillers. So to be successful with this diet, you have to stay away from ibuprofen in particular, and it was demonstrated in a number of studies that ibuprofen actually can contribute to the destruction of healthy gut lining. So you should avoid painkillers. Now, personally, I wasn't taking any steroids or any other treatments for rheumatoid arthritis, so ibuprofen was actually my only way of relieving pain. And I was actually taking quite a lot of it, meaning like quite frequently. Typically, I would take 400 milligrams a day, and that would basically got it done for me. And last time I got ibuprofen was in December of 2019 when I was in Canada for Christmas. As you can imagine, I was still eating a lot of treats, burgers, Nanaimo bars, I mean the list goes on. And so my joints were bothering me and I was getting quite a few headaches. Now, when I returned from Canada starting January, I cut out all the offensive foods, and ever since then this bottle is still full. I did not touch ibuprofen, and my symptoms, rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, are gone as well. Now, every now and then I still get headaches. They're a lot more manageable than before, and I use home remedies to deal with them. Now, before we get to the home remedies, let's talk about what we can do to reduce the number of headaches and their severity. Of course, I was going to mention diet first. So the first place to look into for triggers for your headache is your diet. And I'll give you a few examples from my own life. A few years ago, my office was supplying coffee and creamers, and so I was drinking that coffee with the creamers, and I kid you not, every time I had that coffee, I would have a migraine type headache, and it wasn't just any headache, it was the full migraine thing with sensitivity to light, sensitivity to sound, painkillers wouldn't work. Some days I would just have to go home. So I figured out really quickly that that coffee plus the creamers weren't really good for me, so I stopped drinking it and my situation improved. I also learned that there are different brands of coffee that were causing me headaches, and some of the other brands didn't. And so probably had to do with the preservatives and the type of roasting that different brands had. Another example of food sensitivity I noticed that was triggering my headaches was gluten. So when I gave birth to my son, I was nursing him, and in the beginning I was really focused on having a strong milk supply. So the midwife's advice is to eat a bowl of oatmeal. So I was eating that pretty much every day. And I didn't have autoimmune symptoms then because my autoimmunity was in remission during and post-pregnancy. But when I finished eating my bowl of oatmeal, I would have this massive headache all over again. And it would be like 20 minutes after I finished eating, boom, the headache was there. And each time I ate the oatmeal, the headaches were happening. And so when my milk supply was established about 6 weeks into it, I stopped eating oatmeal, and as you can imagine, things started improving and I didn't have those frequent headaches anymore. One other great example is, especially when I was working on my ketogenic diet in the early stages before I really understood what I should and should not eat, when I wanted to make sure I am in ketosis but I still had cravings for snacks, I would snack on nuts. And I noticed that if I ate too much nuts, that also would trigger headaches. My guess is that these would be lectins to which I am sensitive as well. So yes, it's really important that you look into the diet to see what the triggers may be there for you. And that includes natural compounds such as lectins or synthetic additives such as MSG. So you want to take a look at it, probably go on the elimination diet or paleo-ketogenic diet, or the ultimate elimination diet, which is the carnivore diet, and figure out what works for you. Also, some of us are really sensitive to electromagnetic fields. They're everywhere and we can't see them. I know this may sound strange coming from a person that lives in New York City, because I am virtually bombarded by EMFs from every direction. And yet there are things you can do in your personal space to minimize the exposure to EMFs. So you shouldn't be sleeping with your mobile phone on in your bedroom. You shouldn't have your wireless router in your bedroom. When you are in the kitchen, you can unplug as many appliances as you can, and you can turn off as much electricity for the night as you can. And all these steps are thought to improve the exposure to EMFs. If you think you are really sensitive to electromagnetic fields, there are various companies with different technologies providing gadgets that can help minimize the EMF's exposure. I personally didn't look too much into it, and I think it's really hard to say what works, what doesn't work. So this is something you probably should explore on your own. But if you think you are sensitive to electromagnetic fields, you should definitely explore it and see how you can remove the obvious offenders from your personal space. One of these days, I will just get a sensitizer for my apartment and will measure EMFs in my entire apartment. And I'll probably get depressed with the amount of EMFs that I'll see. Or maybe not. I actually live right by the river and the cell phone reception here is really poor, so maybe I am spared from some of the waves. Anyway, every now and then I do get headaches, and they are not as strong and not as frequent as they once used to be. And since I'm not taking painkillers anymore, I have a few remedies that help me to deal with the headaches and sometimes just help me to get rid of them completely. So my top 2 triggers for headaches is stress and dehydration, and almost always it happens at work when I am managing various competing priorities. So number 1 go-to question is, did you have enough water? And so as soon as I get a headache, my first reflex is to get some cold water. But I will always add some electrolytes. And I must say I really love them. And this little thing is in my bag always. And it has 60 milligrams magnesium. So that's an additional plus, because oftentimes deficiency of magnesium can trigger headaches as well. So you kind of really giving your body everything it needs to deal with the pain. So I love to drink water with electrolytes, and it is really helpful. I do the same when I'm doing water fasting, and I drink electrolytes throughout the day. And even my 10-day fasts are headaches free. So this really works well for me. I love essential oils. I have them at work, I have them at home, and at work I use them for many different purposes, even to improve the moods of my employees. but they also help me with headaches. So I will use a tiny dab of either lavender or peppermint oil, and I rub it into my temples. Now, if you really have a sensitive skin, you probably have to add some carrier oil. So that would be, let's say, sweet almond oil, and then you can rub them into your skin and the effect will be similar. So in addition, I will also inhale them, sometimes take a walk, and most of the times this will take care of my headaches. This is called a cryoning tool. I have something similar at work as well. So if by some chance my essential oils fail me, I will give myself a quick massage of just a few minutes where I will work on the top of my head. That's usually where my headache is. And 10-15 minutes, you will get a lot more relaxed. Tension will go away and you will feel better. Okay, so these are the remedies that work for me. If you know of some other ways of helping with headaches, please let me know in the comments down below. I know some of my friends drink ginger tea or add cayenne pepper to water, and that works as well. I myself stay away from these because of my autoimmunity. Now, if you've addressed your environment, your diet, your sleep, your water intake, and you are still putting up with lots of headaches, probably it's the time to reach out to your doctor and have a deeper look on what is going on with your body. Headaches might be a way of your body letting you know there's some other underlying problems with your health. Okay. This will do it for this week's home remedies. Before you go, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.